to the Live Lounge on day 2 of Open Banking Expo UK and Europe. I'm delighted to be joined on the sofa by David Cox, Payment Strategy Lead at Virgin Media. Welcome to the Live Lounge, David.
Very good morning. It's a lovely day and very exciting. It's very busy already at this early hour, so really great to be here.
Yeah, it's not your first Expo, so it's great to have you back, and I know you're on stage later. But first of all, David, tell us a little bit more about your role at Virgin Media. What does it entail?
Yeah, so I support all the different payment methods across all our different businesses. So if we're talking Virgin Media, that would be like broadband, TV, landline, consumer and business customers. And if we're talking mobile, it would be like airtime contract customers, finance, handset agreements, pay-as-you-go customers. So each of those business areas, interestingly, make payments in slightly different ways. And of course, more importantly, looking forward, is what payment methods our customers might like to use in the future that would benefit them and benefit our business. So that's the exciting thing about being here today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really exciting time for payments, isn't it? Because you've got so much innovation happening in the space, I guess.
I do. I'm sadly old enough to remember when payments was very dull. There was just direct debits and debit and credit cards. And I try and explain my job to my young children, and they glaze over in about 10 seconds. I can hold their attention for about 60 seconds now because there's lots more to talk about. So we've got wallets, open banking, and how payments have exploded in the last 5 years. It has been phenomenal. And there's just so much choice, so much innovation. And when I look across this platform today at all the innovative, fintech companies have come up with great ideas. I mean, it's a very exciting place to be. I don't think anyone would want to be in anything but payments. So that's where I think we are at the moment. Yeah,
you're saying, so many different payment options now at checkout, but I guess that also reflects changing customer behaviours, doesn't it? So what do you see there in how customers behave and the way they want to pay?
Yeah, that's a really interesting one, actually. Customers are very familiar with the things they know. So if I was to ask you how you listen to your music, for example, you'll probably always go to the same thing. So there'll be some nostalgic people that listen to vinyl, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's made a comeback.
Up to that. There'll be people that still buy CDs, and there'll be others that use digital, Spotify, etc. So changing a customer's behaviour is very much what's in it for them. Why would they change? Is it better, I guess? So I think wallets initially, they've taken off really well. So Google Pay, Apple Pay, Visa and MasterCard are promoting Click to Pay, as you probably know. And it makes certain journeys really slick and quick. And if you just want to pay your bill and you use your mobile device for that purpose, it has really been successful. I think people that are used to using digital solutions, and I think lockdown forced people to use digital, which they may not have done originally, is really useful. But you'll always have some people that ask for a paper bill, go to the post office to pay it because they just like interaction with people. So I think we should never leave anyone behind, even if they don't want to be digital. So I think that's probably quite an important thing to consider.
Yeah, I guess, there is the financial exclusion piece, and as you say, it's all about inclusivity and giving people the option that suits them and their way of living.
Yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to open banking payments, what are you seeing there in terms of adoption when you do offer it as an option to customers?
I love open banking, obviously. That's why we're here.
Of course.
So I think the trusted customer journey is, of course, bill payment, pay my bill. A lot of credit card companies offer it as first option now. So I think paying a bill, it's a low-risk journey for a customer. It's very slick. And for those that are financially vulnerable, it's really useful because the customer can see in their banking app how much have they got now and how much they really want to pay. Whereas pay by other means, you don't really know what you've got in the account. You don't know what's going out tomorrow. So I think it puts the customer in control for where they're trying to spread their finances across lots of different utility bills, for example. I think bill payment, low value transactions are very well established, and certainly Virgin Media O2 are focusing in that space. And I think the other space that it's been explored is acquisition. So if you're taking on new customers, how do you make the onboarding journey really slick and quick? So Virgin Media have already trialled things like using what they call RAS, so it's like the data, and pre-populating a direct debit mandate. It's pretty simple, but it just means that there's no fat finger issues and you get the right information, and the customer isn't inconvenienced with perhaps having typed in the wrong bank account number or the wrong sort code. So I think the data element is probably a lot more that could be explored by merchants, because we know it can do things like affordability checks. It has lots of elements within the competitor data that perhaps hasn't been explored as much as it could be.
Yeah.
But I think in payments, it's working really well. And I think our next challenge is, which you probably well know, commercial VRPs is probably our next discussion. So we could talk about that if you wish.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple of conversations on stage yesterday about commercial VRPs, the potential they offer, but also maybe some of the sticking points in terms of, why we're not quite there yet. What's your view on that?
So I think with any company, merchant, they will, let's pretend I'm a finance director. I'm always going to say, well, give me your business case. How much is it going to cost to deliver this solution? How much is it going to cost per transaction, for example, and is my revenue going to grow as a result, or am I just paying more money to collect the same revenue? So there's lots of business-specific considerations as a merchant, and then there's the consumer experience. So would a consumer understand what commercial VRPs actually are, and how would they manage it? What would they do if maybe they had a subscription and 3 months later they perhaps thought that the service wasn't what they expected? Would they? Yeah, it is. I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't think the consumer protection element is that clear. Whereas direct debits, you've got your direct debit indemnity. With cards, you've got chargebacks. I think it's still more work to be done. I'm not saying consumer protection is the thing that's holding it back specifically for low value transactions, but I do think the clarity for merchants to know what it is they're offering, and the commercials are probably the other big thing. Everyone wants to know, how's it going to benefit my business, and is it really better than direct debits? Is it the same? So I think that's the challenge. The only other one is trust, of course.
Yes, always a big topic.
Yeah, customers are really familiar with certain things. So although everyone says the younger generation don't particularly like direct debits, the direct debit volumes per annum are still increasing across the UK. Though someone's still signing up to them. So I think it's a benefit case that we're probably still working through, but I do want it to progress more quickly than it is, let's put it that way.
Yeah. So returning to the Expo, you've been here before. What conversations and discussions are you hoping to have this year? I mean, CVRP is obviously one of them.
Yes.
Anything else top of the agenda for you?
I think innovation. So I've heard that there might be a contactless open banking solution that's being discussed. So I'd quite like to see what that looks like. And I'm sure anyone that does contactless payments would be quite keen to see how far away that potentially is. And also, with different open banking providers, they tend to have slightly different benefits. So it's just looking at all the differences between the providers and making sure that anything that we do as a business and any of the merchants I work with, that we make sure we've got the right supplier providing the right solution for our customers, so that if I'm in sales, our conversion rate is as high as it can be and the customer journey is as slick and quick as it should be.
Yeah, well, great. Thank you, David, for joining me in the Live Lounge. It's really great to hear from you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Expo.
Yeah, thank you very much, and lovely to see you, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you,
very
David.
much.